Hey everybody, Tommy here, World at War Comics, and I have an incredible guest that I cannot wait for you to meet. But before we get into that, man, hit that subscribe button. Make sure you hit the like, make sure you share. I think you're going to really love this episode. All right, my next guest is Vasil Tuchkov. He is the CEO of Studio Rubik, and he is the writer and creator of It Remains, which is an incredible graphic novel with amazing art by Ed Matinian. And you're going to absolutely love this title. Not only is it an amazing graphic novel with an incredible storyline, it is a fully immersive novel, which I don't even know if I could explain it without you seeing it. We're going to show you live exactly how this is used. If you buy the graphic novel, it comes with an app. You utilize that app, and the pages actually come alive. It is absolutely incredible. It's next level graphic novel storytelling, and I think you're going to really enjoy this. If you are listening right now on Spotify, Audible, Apple, or other podcasts, just go to itremains.com and check it out for yourself. Get the graphic novel. You will not be disappointed. All right, without further ado, here is Vasil and I. I hope you really enjoy. Well, everyone, welcome to World at War Comics. I have a very amazing guest today, Vasil Tuchkov. Vasil, it is so good to have you here. I cannot wait to talk about It Remains and everything that you're doing behind the scenes. But before we get into that, how are you doing on this weekend, my friend?
I'm doing great, brother. Much better than a week ago, where when I was in the hospital. But it's a funny thing. The first book of It Remains that started everything, I wrote as a form of escape during the surgery that had me bound to a bed for 4 months. I had like a clavicle surgery dislocation, and then it was also at the end of a relationship for the last decade, and at the beginning of a quarantine that was scorched the world for the next few years. Her Majesty COVID-19, right? So I wrote the first book as a form of escape, and then it kind of got out of my hands, and I'm just a passenger in the car. And a bunch of people invested in the story. Our art director became the art director of Wally, Finding Nemo, and The Incredibles, who were some of my favorite childhood shows. Anthony, big up. He worked at Pixar with Steve Jobs for 18 years. And a bunch of other people like Rob Pryor and the Oslam brothers and so on. But the funny thing is, and it jinxes me a little bit, is that now when I'm just finishing Act Two, because all the acts are written, it's a graphic novel series, but Act Two is about to come out, and I was working on it again in the hospital with half my face paralyzed. I got the Bell's palsy disease,
Crazy.
so it's weird.
Yeah, yeah. You've been through a lot, man. But, selfishly, I'm hoping that it produces some pretty amazing stories, man. So sorry you have to suffer to bring out those stories, but hopefully that's what's produced, right?
Like we all know, a popular character says, "Whatever doesn't kill us makes us stranger."
Yeah, very true, man. Very true.
Even though I was more of the Harvey Dent character than the Joker. I was still in the movie. I was still in the movie, so it's okay. Okay.
I
And
love it. Well, before we jump right into It Remains, because I think people that are watching this are going to be really surprised by not just the graphic novel, not just the storyline, but how immersive it is and everything that is being built out of It Remains and all these different factors. I want to jump into all of that. But can we start at the beginning, right? You're the CEO of what is it called? Studio Rubik. Can you kind of talk about that role and how that plays in It Remains? And is there any correlation, or is that something completely different that you do on the side?
there's a lot of correlation and a lot of back and forth and struggle since kind of my origin story, right?
Yeah.
So I was born in Eastern Europe in Bulgaria. I grew up in the States in California. I lived in Ukraine and Scotland and Amsterdam and a bunch of places. But I started writing at a very early age. I might even have it somewhere here. Let me see. Okay, this is, I think, the Russian version. I wrote my first book, which was a fantasy novel series, when I was 15, and I published it at 17. And I kind of did this whole tour in the region. I was the first Bulgarian to be published by the publishers of Lord of the Rings, The Wheel of Time, and so on. And then it got published in Russia and a lot of places around. And then I turned, I think, 19 or 20. I watched Fight Club, and I decided that self improvement is masturbation. Self destruction, now that's something else. So I hid from my publisher. I wanted to write this great masterpiece. I was really done with genre and fantasy novel. Even I started with Choose Your Own Adventure, reading books with Conan, with fantasy and so on. I was a big fan, and I still am to this day a Uber nerd. But I just wanted to write a piece of like timeless literature, so to speak. And I was caught by this, limitation that genre is something to be ashamed of, which now I embrace fully, and I love it. And I love magical realism, and there are no rules basically once you learn to break them. But um, I got tired of being broke, so I went in my university years. I started being an entrepreneur, went through a couple of companies, and Studio Rubik is a creative studio. We do animation, viral videos, branding, and stuff like that. I was also a partner of a software development company, which we exited. So I got into business hard, and I burned out real hard. It allowed me to, I've done this for Comedy Central for clients around the world, and uh, somewhere around my surgery and my kind of divorce situation and all those things, I wrote "It Remains" as a form of escape at my darkest moments, and somehow it really took off. And I've never had anything fly and run this way without being pushed. And in the beginning, we got to get actually it started with my good friend and neighbor Ed, who used to work in game design and so on, and we've tried to collaborate throughout the years but not so successfully. And I showed Ed my story of this beyond, we call it beyond dystopia because it comes after Mad Max, after zombie apocalypse, after everything. It's its own genre, a planet on the brink of erasure, like the last days of a planet before implosion, and identity and humanity trying to preserve itself, and how primitive it can become again, but how close and relatable it is to our daily lives right now. So, what I couldn't or refused to say, Ed showed through his artwork. And it was a good symbiosis because with this genre, particularly, I didn't want to explain things too much because everything is losing definition. It's a story of change, the loss of definition, and father and son at world's end. So I couldn't write like it looks like a building, it's as big as a car, things like that. I had to show them through the perspective of the characters who each day remember less and less of the old world, come up with their own explanation and their own meanings and words. But the artwork, that's where Ed came, and he could really support my vision by showing things without having to name them. And we were big fans of the Sandman, um, Watchman, McFarlane, and then and just Spawn and a bunch of things. So we wanted to create something that's you know a lot of people say it's dark, but we're looking for light in the darkness of It Remains. So that's why even the cover is super childlike. It's the book itself is very colorful. It's drawn also. The covers are drawn of the chapters, and the main cover of by Rob Pryor, who's done Marvel, DC, Star Wars. He's the first person to draw in space hired by Elon Musk. He paints with both hands, sells his paintings for $1 million. So Rob was such a patron of this. When he heard the story and saw the book, he said that, in his words, this could be the greatest graphic novel series of our generation, blah, blah, blah. And he really made me believe. So he sat down with his kids and drew the covers, kind of like a parallel what it is to draw at the end of the world or at the brink of World War III, like we are right now, for example. And yeah, so what we did with our studio and with my background in tech and animation is that with It Remains, our studio, Yellowmouth Studios, we are uber nerds who are trying to revolutionize the way content is produced, consumed, distributed, and co-created in the age of tech, in the age of immersion, in the age of Web3. How do we do that? We basically turn viewers into participants. Like I was talking to Thomas just before we hit record. I'm a big fan of print media, so I don't want to say that paper is not, sacrosanct, but a lot of new readers, and even I find myself, are reading less and less paper. They have less and less attention span due to all the social medias, to doom scrolling, to whatnot. And we just want to give people access. So we solve a simple problem of traditional media dying out and how to link it to the tech generation. It remains. Let me see if I'm able to share my screen right now.
That'd be
Would you
amazing.
allow me to please share?
Oh, of course. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah. So this book can be experienced as a
Okay.
graphic novel book. This is book one out of five. It's a series. They're all written, but we're releasing them one by one. It's very, very, very high quality, and we're also doing a contest for the second book for artists around the world, kind of to draw the covers of the
Oh,
book.
wow.
But it can also be experienced as an audiobook and an augmented reality experience. So when I hit record, I'll show you what I mean. The book comes with its own app
Wow.
screen. All right, I think it should work now. So there was some update today, so some of the pages might be a little buggy because our coders are doing some maintenance, very unfortunately, on the same day. So right here, when I go to, you can see my screen, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so when I go to the profile right here,
Hmm.
for example, I can get a clue, don't judge a book by its cover. And I go to the scan option, and when I scan the book, it becomes alive.
That's awesome.
So, so it's fully digital, fully immersive. Hopefully, it's not lagging too bad through the connection. The book is available on our website, itremains.com, and the app is available on App Store and Google Play. And you can, this is a raw prior painting, for example, when I open it, it's interactive. I'm touching, things are coming out. I can activate the voiceover parts of the audiobook.
That is crazy.
Its father, this
I don't
man
know if you
there,
can hear the
it
sound.
thought, is the last thing standing between it and the melting
So,
pool of
for
old
example, I
man's
want to speak
world.
to its father. It's Dada right here. And it does not require QR codes. The only QR code here is for downloading of the app. It's all image recognition.
Hmm.
This is its father. I can see the world of It Remains through its Dada's eyes, like in the book, what it used to be Old Man's World, or through its son's eyes, which is now
Walkers.
a barren wasteland.
The crunch
I
of
can
its
control
own
the father.
steps drew its
He
attention
will
to the
be as lit
ground.
as it is as the
Bare
lighting in the
bones
room
underneath bare
right
feet.
here. And
Feet
if
that
I have
saw
a
without
page
eyes.
that's not unlocked, for
Blind.
example, like this one,
Hmm.
let me see. Okay, this one is unlocked. It also does things.
The
It's
yellow
hard to
mouth
find.
is
This
evil.
one is unlocked, I think, as well. Let's see. Let me just find one that I have not unlocked on this particular book. One moment, please.
Yeah, no, this is crazy good.
Yeah, I'm just showing you through it. So
Yeah.
when you don't have the book, when you don't have it unlocked, it shows a scene which is like okay, I'm just hitting unlock. I've unlocked them all, so it's kind of hard to show you what I mean.
That's
Uh,
okay.
yeah, here we go. This one is locked. So I have to do a riddle or find out more. We release different pages each week, or own the NFT, or do something, play a mini game and stuff like that to unlock more of the story and go deeper within the rabbit hole. And as I'm going here, I'm gaining these points right here as I unlock pages, and these points can be converted into real live assets. Our immersive clothing, like the shirt I'm wearing, our figurines, which are also immersive, like the figurine right here of its data, which
That
is
thing is
again
crazy awesome.
a resistor. He's got his own hair right here and his own set of garbage by Yellow Mouse Studios right here. Really high quality collectibles, and I can also exchange them for our digital assets like NFTs and tokens and stuff like that. So it's up to the viewer to really decide how they want to consume the content and what they want to do with it. So
Yeah.
see, the book is just alive and it unveils more and more. Right here, when I go to play, there's also a game we have. It's called The Walk.
Oh
So you
wow.
can choose to play with its son or its dada, and you have different rewards that you can earn, like a Nokia 33 Falso. You can get mugs, t-shirts, immersive posters, books, hoodies, and so on. And right here, when I play the game, we already have some players with a million score and so on. When I play, there's some storytelling to it, and it's an open world which is constantly developing, and an infinite runner trying to get away from the yellow mouth, the swallowing pit at the center of everything. And I'll
Wow.
tell you a little bit more about the story. The art is pretty sick, as you can see. Everything's been hand drawn over the last 4 years. We've created the world. There's no AI used. So right here, for example, I'm walking, collecting bones, trying to get away from that yellow mouth that is coming behind me, this swallowing pit. Whoops. Let me escape. And I can activate my toy balloon right here, for example. I can fly over it and do a bunch of things. And it's but when I'm flying, I'm not getting any points. So right now, when I walk, I'm gaining steps. Left, you can see these steps you can exchange as well. So I go back, and this is a TV that's been dropped into the yellow mouth. It's a character from the book, a half dead, that you see a little bit like Videodrome. It's covered
Yeah.
in skin and bone. That's very much into the lore of the book. And now I'll go back to get out of this and stop sharing.
Dude, that is
Can you see me
insane.
again?
You haven't showed up yet.
Let me see.
Yeah. But that is
Uh,
crazy, man. That the technology that you're using to bring this book alive. Like I said, I haven't experienced this anywhere else. Again, I'm a little bit older, so I'm probably not purposely looking for this because I don't know it exists. But now that I know it exists, this looks like you could get lost in it for hours.
yeah, I didn't know it existed too. To be honest, the idea came when I was with my ex-girlfriend on an island on the island of Cyprus, and we did uh, I don't know if I should say that, but fuck it. A mushroom ceremony
Oh
over
yeah,
there in a village. And basically, I was looking at the book and we were like, wow, the art is so great and everything. And it's almost like coming alive. And I was like, wait, what? Why don't we make it come to life? You know? Without the need. So we have like everything, even my shirt becomes alive right here.
oh
The icon
man,
of everything. I can show you some of the, I don't
that's
know.
crazy, man.
Yeah, so it's the idea of multiple disciplines, and
Hmm.
something that we've been developing for a very long time, turning viewers into participants. And now we're being approached by IP like Superman, Winnie the Pooh, and so on to do the same thing for them through our platform. Basically, make books immersive and link them to the tech generation. It's kind of like your old comic book. You can even promote in it. Let's say in your Dune book, you can promote the Dune movie, or you can mix audiences of Harry Potter and Batman in one print physical asset that becomes immersive. So,
Awesome, man.
so right here, you can see my screen, right?
Yeah.
Okay, let's see if I can make my shirt immersive. Yep. Do you see
Yep.
it? It's kind of hard
Crazy.
to do it on yourself.
Yeah.
Maybe do it like that. No,
Yeah.
that way I can't. 1 second.
That is crazy,
I,
man.
I wish I had a helper right here, right now.
No, that is cool though, man. Oh, there it goes.
It's because I'm moving.
There it goes. Yeah.
I'm just moving too much. Yeah. So now if I touch the screen,
At the heart of this barren wasteland lies a mysterious yellow lake, a swallowing pit, pulling at the world's skin, drawing in.
yeah, and so on. So you start
That's
looking
crazy, man.
at the story,
That's
and
insane.
yeah, thank you, brother. It's really been our baby. We've been building this for a long time, and the story itself is what has driven us forward. The story, what's the thing that unites us, regardless the color of our skin, our religion, our social status? It's stories. We all dream, and dreams are the fabric of our reality. And I've been very always been interested in the fusion of art and tech, because you need a writer or some crazy idea guy to come up with a concept, like in Captain Nemo, Jules Verne imagined the Nautilus, right? And then an engineer tried that and turned out to be the first submarine, or Leonardo's flying devices, or anything else for that matter. Even Boston Dynamics building robots now and things that look from iRobot and people getting scared of Judgment Day and so on. It's fiction is the catalyst. The fuel for innovation is imagination.
Yeah.
So that's why we've been linking those. But ultimately, what really made the story come out, and we're now negotiating for a Netflix animated series. The pilot is being shot. We got a board game coming on, the series, and so on. But it's the story that captured it, and the story of it remains. Imagine a world much like our own fast forwarded in time, which after wars like the one happening in Gaza, wars like the one happening in Ukraine, conflict, pollution, overfishing, overconsumption, all that's left is bone, dust, and plastic. And at the center of this barren wasteland, there's a mysterious yellow lake, which is a swallowing pit. And it's drawing in the world, sucking it into itself very slowly ad infinitum, at the center of everything, like a giant drain.
Mhm.
And we meet these two characters at the shores of Yellow. Maybe it's better this way to
Yeah.
be harsh. Sorry.
No,
I
you're
should have done that a long time ago. So, this Yellow Lake, the few remaining survivors called the Yellow Mouth.
Mhm.
And the Yellow Mouth, they're resistors of the Yellow Mouth, it and its Dada, it and its father. We meet these two characters, it and it, because it's this, again, the story of loss of definition, of change. And each day they remember less and less. So each day, it and its Dada, which don't even have names anymore because names, genders, pronouns, everything is losing definition, right? So each day, it and it start walking away from the opposite, start walking away in the opposite direction where everything else is going, away from the Yellow Mouth. They walk for so long, they call that the walk, and the walk is sacred. It comes first, and they walk for so long that when they stop to sleep, they awaken the next day by the shores of Yellow and not beyond them as they drift back in their sleep. So they've gained enough distance which they can accumulate by the exhaustion in their feet, their walkers. And they start walking again, back and forth, back and forth. And this is like living on a treadmill. And this existence is like a metaphor for our life. Sometimes it's hard to get out of bed. Sometimes it's meaningless to make money when you're going to spend it. Kiss your lover when we're all going to die, right? Yet we need to find reason for meaning, for a belonging, and what it is to raise a kid at the end of the world. So now the trick is that if you go to the Yellow Mouth, it both gives and it takes. So if you go to it and you hold a blade in your hand or a fork or any object, when you dip it under the surface and you take it out, it becomes a part of you. It fuses with your flesh and bone and skin. So our resistors can add various extensions to their bodies, which they call addings. And these addings can be extra limbs, weapons, but also absurd things from the past, like Oscar statuettes, dildos, and mobile phones that they don't know exactly the content and they put in ridiculous repurposed ways.
Yeah.
If a resistor puts too many addings on and it becomes too comfortable, it becomes a sitter, and the Yellow Mouth takes them away. So it stops changing. Change is the only constant, kind of like that. So at the end, at some point of the story, in of Act One, its son finds its father having become a sitter, and the only thing it manages to save from its dada, except from the ideology being all challenged because it's taught it how to be a resistor, how to be safe, and so on, is its dada's eye, the dad eye, that's what it calls it, which it puts on the back of its head. And this eye serves as a vehicle. So the father is like a dark passenger. Anytime it goes to see something, it hears the father's voice, but it also is a switch of point of view. So when it looks through the dad eye, it sees the world as it used to be. When it looks through its own eyes, it sees it as a barren wasteland, and it can this way find stuff as it searches for a lost energy. Also, the energy of the missing female. It remembers having the mother, so to speak, but either the father doesn't remember or doesn't tell it, and so on. And right here, for example, no, I'm showing the wrong one. Right here is the dad eye. You can see it on the back of its head. This is like a big splash page, right? And when it looks through its own eyes throughout the book, you can switch through the app and see different versions of the father and the son change of point of view.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, and this is just the beginning of the story. It's a whole world. It's got also these creatures that are half deads, who are resistors, the sitters are resistors whose hearts have given out, their will to resist, and the half deads are creatures whose resistors whose brains have given out, and the addings that I've added still pull them along, uh, trying to scurry away from the Yellowmouth. And they're like the equivalent of zombies in our world, but zombies here are even something that is good for eating or for probing or anything else, because even the zombies are food. It's so far in time. It's like the last days of knowledge and identity.
Mhm.
And they have this thing called the Forget Nots collection, which each day they start with easy words and go into more complicated words. Even in the game, this is the lifeline to your humanity. So if they forget completely, they're gone because they're losing so much definition. So this is as important as picking bones and eating in their path and walking, keeping the collection alive. So they give words meaning based on a level of synesthesia, what a word tastes like, what it smells like, how it makes them feel. Because its data says that first go the names, then go the meanings, but what remains last is the feeling, how something or someone made you feel. That's what you're going to remember. Even in time, maybe back in the day you had beef with someone, you don't even remember what it was for,
Yeah.
but yet you remember how that person made you feel. So it's very intuitive, very psychedelic, and it has its own philosophy. And in a way, these words, it catches its father changing the meaning of words at some points, and it argues with its father that that's not the meaning that it used to say, but its father is on the decline, so it starts making its own secret forget nots collection. And this is just like a premise in the beginning of the story I'm giving out, but yeah, it's
So
definitely weird.
yeah, definitely. Well, let me share my screen. We'll show the website to make it really easy for people, and I'll put
Awesome.
all the links below as well. That way, people can get over there and make their purchase of it. So my assumption is Act One is still available.
Act One is available. It comes with the free app and the free game inside and everything, and it's getting updated weekly. This is Act One, $49, and it's
Pretty
very
cheap.
very high quality hardcover. So we're really making something that we want to make a decentralized entertainment franchise where we do things for our community. This is our baby. So we really care about the quality and what people are gonna get. It's not for us. We're not money motivated with this. This is our passion, and along the way, people like the producer of Batman has helped us, Michael Uslan, who has bought the rights of the Batman series in the 80s for $70,000. Took him 10 years to realize his dream. And everybody was laughing at him because comic books were Batman at the point was like this chubby TV character. And he saw Tim Burton, with Tim Burton, they saw Jack Nicholson in The Shining in the newspaper. He drew with crayons on top the face of the Joker. He was like, "That's our Joker, right?" And they chased him for 8 years. In the end, they caught him in a room, gave him a cut of the movie, and Nicholson ended up making $80 million from that, which he bought two paintings of Picasso with. So such a crazy story, but your dreams are alive only as long as you chase them.
Yeah.
And we're 4 years into this, and now we're building an animated series. We sold a couple of collection of NFTs. We booked the entire Eiffel Tower and sold inside. We have an immersive event called It Remains the Immersive Experience, where it's an animated version of the book, and it travels immersive galleries where they have Van Gogh and Kandinsky. For example, we did one in Dubai, in a 40,000 square feet of mapped gallery. People can check it out on our YouTube channel.
Yeah.
And we're just world building away, so to speak, and trying to involve as many cool creators and fans so far. I'm very humbled. Our community right now extends over 120,000 people. And like I said, I'm just a passenger in the car. I'm just a humble vessel. Big up to our entire team, without which I couldn't have been doing this. And they push even when I don't believe.
Yeah, yeah. Well, this is incredible. We'll make sure that the link for the YouTube page of It Remains is below as well. Get over there. You could actually follow from Miami to Spain to all over the different places where you have been with other partners of yours, and bringing the book to the public and allowing them to experience the immersiveness of It Remains. So it's really cool. And then also there's other videos that really digs into the lore, digs into the storytelling, digs into the art. So you can learn a lot off of those videos too. And many of them are very short videos, so you can get through them really quick and get a really good understanding of what you could experience when you do pick up this title. But yeah, this is awesome, man.
Absolutely, and we're most active on X. I think people can check us over there. We have a live Discord channel as well. Anybody has an idea or wants to learn more about it, wants to get a discount or something, just drop us a line. We're all about the community and building it and linking with the right ones. And yeah, it's it. I don't know if it's everybody's cup of tea, but this is something that we're figuring out organically. So the story is evolving, and the the depth of the actual experience evolves as we continue to make it, and as we continue to link with fans around the world. And if you like, we could finish this by me reading just one page of the book, like
That would be amazing.
chapter one, to make it
Yeah,
a little
yeah.
bit more about storytelling in paper and less so about technology so much.
I love
So,
it.
okay, let me see this. I haven't done this on a podcast, so it's a
Oh,
first.
this is awesome. I love to be the first for that. That's awesome, man.
Awesome, brother. Okay. So the first chapter is called Walkers because those are its feet, the most important part of its foundation of resistance. If it doesn't get away from the yellow mouth, it's going to be swallowed. So it's called Walkers. The crunch of its own steps drew its attention to the ground. Bare bones beneath bare feet, feet that saw without eyes, blind seekers, bone crushers, walkers. It wondered how two such crooked things at the end of its legs could keep finding their way over and over, carrying its body across the scape without question or hesitation. One foot was large and meaty, but poor on digits. The other one was thin and long, but clawed at the tips. Careless of their load's position or activity, its feet turned on their heels and walked in the opposite direction everything else was going. Upstream, headed where it eats, away from where it becomes the eats. Heavy on these feet, on this path it leads, onto where it sleeps. Feet that swallow distance, feet that feed on land, feet that carry it backwards, feet that keep going after it stops. Good feet, it would keep them for now.
I love it, man.
This is chapter
Especially
one.
after your explanation of having to be in front of the yellow mouth a certain amount of distance because you can't rest unless that distance is there, right? Or a catastrophe could take place, right?
Exactly, it'll be swallowed, and it also suggests that you can change your feet. So it does change its walkers, and it can replace everything on itself and so on. But the thing about change being the only constant for me is the same thing in life. If you stop moving, if you just lie in your bed, you're done. Like life is movement. Like whether you like it or not is move or die. This is it, and we need to find a reason to keep going and a belonging, and it definitely seeks positivity, even though a lot of people would look at it and say, wow, the topic is so dark. One last thing I'd like to say, which I didn't, is I went around different cities of the world and shot the homeless with a camera, not with a gun, right? And
Let's make sure that's clear.
our
Yes.
artists Ed and Rob Pryor, they used them as my photos as base for our characters. So we're raising awareness for plastic pollution and for homelessness
Mm.
because the resistors of our society for me are the homeless. Like everybody thinks they're really immune to that concept and very far away, removed from them. But everyone is one bankruptcy, one mental illness, one war away from the world of it remains. And not it's not always that with direct pumping into budget and that kind of thing, a problem goes away because sometimes the people that are hired to solve the problem and are receiving money for that will not be paid if the problem no longer exists in a way. And the biggest reason in the states, for example, for homelessness is addiction and also veterans who can be reintegrated into society. Again, the product of war. And I think that we should be trying to use art, tech, and storytelling as a preventive and cautionary tale that would serve as an example and maybe change the downward spiral of humanity. Who knows? I like to say this last because there's so many projects that are just like, oh, global warming, this and that. That's not the main thing. It's the story. But as you can see right here, those are like real homeless people that we've used. They're in the book. They're on their site. You can check some things out that are just like absolutely authentic, and with their futuristic garments of bubble wrap and nylon. And I've tried to pay some of these people that I've taken photos of. Often I've had cases where they throw away the money. They think I'm like using it as a joke, but for me, I really care about the subject, and I think that art should be uncomfortable in order to touch somebody. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
Amazing. Well, Vasil, I can't tell you how excited I am to get my copy of this. I'll be ordering that today, and I can't wait to jump in. When can we expect Act Two? Do you have any timetable or nothing?
Thank you, brother. This year we're the reason that Act Two is not coming out yet is because we're organizing now, and this is kind of like alpha, but I'll drop it on your channel. We're doing a contest for artists around the world, both super established and also unknown, amateur, super talented people, to draw every chapter cover, the cover of every chapter, in order to make it again an organic pattern of creativity. And this should be released soon. It's going to have a really good prize pool, so that people, because art should also be supported, and that's it's I think it's a good way to make it even more decentralized, open source, and a product of the yellow mouth.
Yeah, exactly. Now, if you're an aspiring artist or you're already in the industry and you do want to participate, how does an artist get a hold of you and enter into that contest?
Discord or Twitter, just write to us. We have a very live community, and our community manager Rawson will respond instantly. We're all uber nerds, comic book collectors, fans, gamers, and so on. So for us, this is something that we're looking forward to reaching out with like-minded individuals. We've done all the Comic Cons, San Diego, London. We've sold out on first days. Art Basel, Miami, a bunch of other places. But if you have any ideas where you'd like us to visit next, or how you'd want to contribute to the project, work-wise or otherwise, drop a line. Don't be a stranger.
I love it. Well, Marcel, I can't tell you how excited I am to finally meet you. I know we've been going back and forth. Obviously, you had some health concerns. I'm glad you're doing better. But
Thank
me, I balance the podcast with work because work actually pays bills. This doesn't, so I have to do the balance between. But this is my passion because I love talking to folks like yourself, creators that have all these amazing ideas to help me escape from reality. And I can't wait to jump into Act One.
Thank you so much. And it humbles me always to when someone like you finds interest in our little world. And yeah, it's just, I feel like this is a way to escape the, what did I say, the unbearable lightness of being, to quote Kandera, to like the our own mortality by living in our fantasy, in our comic books, and our realities. It's our own little personal multiverse.
Yeah. Could not agree more, my friend. Well, I hope that when Act Two is launched, we could have you back so we could help promote that and talk about
Absolutely.
it. And then by that time, I'll be done with Act One, and so I'll have
Yeah.
an
Summer
in-depth understanding,
2025.
right?
Summer
Yeah,
2025. It's all five acts have been written, like I said, but we're releasing it little by little, and we're involving people, and also we're working on a Netflix animated series. You can check out the style on our YouTube and a bunch of things. And I wish I could drop out more from the story earlier, but we have a plan in motion, and trust me, it's gonna be worth it.
yeah.
So thank you, guys.
I'm here for it.
Take it easy, but take it.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Buzz. I appreciate your time on the weekend, and man, I hope you continue to get better health-wise, and let's stay in touch.
Let's stay in touch, and let me know when we can watch this. Thank
All
you,
right,
brother.
sounds good, man. Thank you, Vasil. Appreciate you.
Take care. Bye bye. Appreciate you, man.
You're still here? It's over. Go home. Go.